love the hustle, love the hustle, love the hustle. Man, I don't think y'all understand how much grind it took me to get to the point where I'm at right now. This is album 25, y'all. Tier 1, I done came a long way, but I love the hustle, I love the hustle. People always ask me, Blaq, why you grind so hard? See, I came from a hood where we had concrete yards. See, I came up hard, rough, with bruises and scars. Some call it the concrete jungle, where we got sacked a few times, even fumbled, but we survived, with hope in our eyes, destined to reach the goal line. Born with the odds against us, the city drew lines, gerrymandered and fenced us. But coming from Inglewood, there ain't never been another generation like ours who bit and broke bars since us. I love the hustle, because it doesn't really matter who's more talented when you got the gift of the hustle. Can't nobody touch you. You're always gonna be on top, but being on top also means that somebody's coming for your spot. That's why I stay hot, in a whole nother bracket. Keep reinventing myself, same dopeness in a different package. I won't be denied, I gotta have it.
All over my body, don't you understand that I love the hustle? Can't shake it, don't depend on nobody knows. I love the hustle.
The world's greatest spoken
Peace and
word.
blessings, y'all. It's your boy Blaq Ice from Chicago, king of poetry. New York, stand up. Irie Jam, Killa.
Blessings, my brother, and welcome to the airwaves of Irie Jam Radio. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for passing through. And let me just welcome my brother, also Richie Innocent, live inside of the studios of Irie Jam Radio. Now, ladies and gentlemen, over the weekend, this past Saturday, I had the pleasure of experiencing an event for the second year in a row, and it was the annual Poetry Echoes of Expression brought to you by Richie Innocent and Friends, which was held at the Cultural Center at VP Records. And I spoke to Richie Innocent plus Marcia Jackson right here on Friday, and they promised that they would that we would have a good time, which we did. Everyone brought their A game and delivered.
Yes.
Now the voice that you just heard in the background is one of the poets that performed, and this man is an international award-winning poet. He's known as Blaq Ice. He's an award-winning American poet and international spoken word artist. A true creative force. He is a captivating entertainer, lecturer, producer, promoter, videographer, and graphic designer. As a published author, mentor, and activist, he has redefined the spoken word landscape, known as the father of Chicago poet. Blaq Ice's monumental contributions to American and Chicago poetry continue to inspire and ignite audiences worldwide. Let's say good afternoon and welcome Blaq Ice inside the studios of Irie Jam Radio. Blessings, Virgin.
Killa, DJ Killa. Blessings to you, man. Big ups, man, and much respect, man. Irie Jam, New York. I am so honored and glad to be here, my brother.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Let me just say, wonderful performance on Saturday. I had never seen you before.
Yes.
I had never heard your work before, but trust me, I was truly inspired and motivated after what I heard.
Man, thank you, bro. And thank you, man, for being behind the ones and twos, man.
Yes,
making sure the sounds. And look, I was looking at the video, DJ Killa, and as I was performing, I did one of these moves with my hand.
Yes.
And you was right on it. You
Yes.
got the music elevated to the level I wanted it, man. Thank you so much. And of course, my brother Richie Innocent for inviting me to New York to be a part of Voices of Echoes, man. Echoes of Expression.
Poetry
Yes.
Echoes of Expression.
That's right, Poetry Echoes of
It's a
Expression.
pleasure having you here, Blaq Ice.
Yes.
True indeed. Now, I heard you said something on Saturday. You gave the definition to the word poet. Can you share it with our audience?
Yeah, so POET stands for People of Extraordinary Talent, and this was an organization that I founded in 1990. I wanted to go to the schools and do edutainment programs, mix the edutainment with the education, and put poetry inside of it, hip-hop inside of it, and music and R&B and singing and reggae inside of it. And so from that moment in 1990 to 2025, we are in Jamaica with a chapter. We are in Ghana with a chapter. We are in New York now building a new chapter, and all over the United States turning our art into activism work.
Speaking of activism, you've also done some political work in Chicago. Talk to me about that.
Yes, well, I'm the first hip-hop spoken word artist to run for political office. I ran for 17th Ward Alderman. Ironically, during the same time that President Barack Obama was running for his state Senate seat. And so I always say that, and people ask, well, why did you want to get into politics? Because I'm a servant. Politics are supposed to be servants, but you don't have to be a politician to serve your community, and I think that I'm proving that right now.
True indeed, true indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking with poet Blaq Ice. He's live inside the studios of Irie Jam Radio, and this man has been doing so much across Chicago. He's known as the king of poetry in Chicago and around, what should I say, around the world?
Yes, sir. And
right,
you
I
know,
want to say that.
And let me say, you know, I respect dub poetry. I was introduced to that in Jamaica and in the Caribbean, and dub poetry is very similar to spoken word poetry. We just have different names on it. So I want to give much respect to all of our Jamaican listeners and Casey Garvey, who won the National Spoken Word Awards for Best International Artist. I mean, poetry is life-changing, my brother.
Speaking of life-changing, you will have a track. I was trying to get it up here on the computer, but there's a track that you have speaking about Du Sable of Chicago.
Yes.
And he's a brother who I have done a feature on here on my program before when I do my Black History features and things of that nature. Talk to me about this brother and the track that you have talking about him.
Well, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable is the founder of Chicago, and he was the black man from the Caribbean, Haiti. And he was denied his just due in Chicago for 200 years. They had streets named after presidents who owned slaves and who raped black women and all. And so we marched and we went to city council and we said, hey, look, this is an injustice and it has to be fixed. And so today, because we fought the Black Heroes Matter movement under Ephraim Martin, we have a street, a major street, named after Chicago's founder, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. He was also the first black-owned business in Chicago. He had a fur business, and people would come from Europe to purchase fur from him.
Wow, that's amazing. Black Heroes Matter.
Yes.
That is the movement that came out of this.
That is the movement, and now all over the world it is respected. I have people from Haitian descent in New York inviting me out to do that one poem, that Black Heroes Matter poem, which is the tribute to Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. And I just thank God that he put it in my spirit to write and do the research about it so that our children may know how great our people are.
Sure indeed. It's all about spreading the history, continuing to let people know our history, and the fact that our history is not just packaged into civil rights and slavery. It's much, much greater than that, much bigger than that. You spoke about chapters being here in the United States, chapters being in Jamaica. You just came off a tour in Jamaica.
Yes.
Talk to me about that experience.
Well, it was actually Ghana first. Ghana first. Yes, Ghana was in February.
Right. And
our president there is Ike Boot. And that was a wonderful thing. We were able to go to the schools in Ghana, Lemon Beach School Academy, and donate ceiling fans.
Right.
And mentor through spoken word poetry, me and my wife, Blaq Isis. And then it was April in Kingston, Jamaica, where we have members, Rasta Kura, our founder of that chapter, which is right here with me, Richie Innocent. And I want to say big up to those poets that are there, and many of them were nominated for my awards, the National Spoken Word Awards, which is another thing that's just meant to give a platform to other people other than myself. I know that my time is limited on this earth. All of our time is limited on this earth, but what can we leave behind that will still affect other people and change the lives of others when we're no longer here?
True indeed. How did you meet Richie Innocent? How did that connection come about?
Well, it was interesting because he was in Chicago at the Chicago Music Awards. And he was backstage, and I went backstage, and the brother has such a beautiful spirit. He's selfless. He has a pure spirit about himself, and we talked and we built with one another. And he was like, man, the way you told me about your organization, Poet, that's something that I want to be a part of, to connect our countries, to cross these borders and cross these waters and make sure that we're connected, not only as a people, but as artists. And we begun our relationship, and he has introduced me to so many Caribbean poets and poets from Jamaica, and even here in New York today.
Now, Richie, I'm gonna bring you in right here. What has this friendship been like when it comes to being on the same journey? What has that friendship been like?
This friendship, thank you very much again to be in the space, Killa, and to all the Irie listeners and viewers. Yeah, this friendship, that we have forged since meeting in Chicago, because it was the program was the International Reggae Music.
Oh, Irama.
But it was both of them.
Yes.
That was held together for the first time.
Okay.
So because of because of that fusion, the Chicago Music Award and the International Reggae Music and World Music Award, that's how we met, because that was my first nomination for Best Dub Poet in the Mutabaruka Awards category.
Nice.
Yeah, and like I said, it cemented a relationship where it has given me an opportunity to see other things outside of just Jamaica. And I realize that there are so many aspects to poetry. I hear about praise poetry, and the kind of poetry that, especially with Blaq Ice, with the National Spoken Word Awards, there are so many categories that I didn't know about these categories before.
Mm-hmm.
So it educated me, in a sense, about poetry on a wider scale. And since I've been a member of the People of Extraordinary Talent, people, which is the poet organization, I've gotten the chance to reach out to young people, the next generation, which is the future that begins now. The future is now. So when we speak about the future being futuristic, the future begins from yesterday. The future is now, and the future is tomorrow. So we now get an opportunity to use poetry. I always call it Operation Reconstruction. So whatever negative is being done, whatever negative narrative is being spread, the poets are here as the conscience of society to help to reshape, rebalance, and realign the people's mind and the people's mentality. So this partnership with myself and Blaq Ice, I had to let him be a part of the second annual staging of Rich Innocent and Friends, poetry expression, I had echoes of expression. I had to have him here so that the people could get it, because Blaq Ice is a real gem. And listening to him right now, I'm so happy to know that the people in the diaspora, in the New York space, to know that Irie Jam, gracing Irie Jam right now, it's a blessing, and I'm the type of person, whenever I see talent within someone, I don't harbor any form of jealousy. Like I told Blaq Ice, God has given all of us, our gift, and the gift that he has given us is for us to contribute. So if you try to go against what someone else is doing, you're going against the Almighty.
That's right. Sounds amazing, my brother. You said that exceptionally well. Blaq Ice, being that you are from Chicago, and I have you here, we know that crime and violence is all over the world.
Yes.
But the way they make it seem today, I'm not sure if this is the way it is. They make it seem as if Chicago is out of control. You're unable to do anything about what's happening there. I haven't been to Chicago in a while, but I see some things that everybody's saying that Chicago there's no way to bring back Chicago. Yes. What do you have to say about the violence that we see happening there in Chicago right now, where the killing rate is sky high?
Right. So if you look at the deadliest cities in America, or the most dangerous cities in America, Chicago is not even in the top 10.
Oh, wow.
So this is a propaganda that's being perpetuated by this government, because, Barack Obama came from Chicago, and then we have a Governor Pritzker, who's probably going to run for president from the state of Illinois. And so this is all propaganda to try to diminish that quote-unquote democratic leadership. So before they can even vie for competing for the White House, they can say, if you can't even control your own state or your own city, then how can you control the country? But crime in Chicago is down about 30% right now. And it's isolated to two really major pockets. You have the Inglewood and the Auburn Gresham neighborhood on the south side, and then you have the Austin and the Lawndale neighborhood on the west side. And so as long as the crime is isolated in those areas, then the white folks who live downtown don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about stopping the crime. They don't have to, and when I say white folks, I'm not talking about your average white folks. I'm talking about the ones that are in power.
Right.
And so we understand that if they really wanted to stop the crime in Chicago or anywhere else in any major city, you would do what you would say you do to this country. You would protect our borders. Because in these black neighborhoods, they don't have any gun manufacturing companies, but guns are found in the community. They don't have any poppy fields or fields that are growing crops in which drugs can be formulated out of, but drugs are deeply in our community. So we know it's an outside thing coming to the inside, and when it's like that, we know that we are a target and we are a victim more than a volunteer.
What's next for Black Ice?
Well, we have a few things coming up. I will be in Aruba next week, and I will be in Jamaica in November, about a month after that. But I'm constantly building. I have a radio station, Poet Radio, People of Extraordinary Talent Radio, and that's on talkshoe.com. So we're going to continue to build that. We're at the Juvenile Detention Center tomorrow. We're at the Juvenile Detention Center in Chicago, so I'm flying out in the morning. But our job is to do as our motto in the organization says, changing the world, one heart, one mind, one verse at a time.
Talk to me about your book.
Yes. So if you go to Amazon, and first let me say that Blaq is spelled B-L-A-Q, not the way the color is spelled. I spelled it that way because it's an acronym that stands for Believe in the Lord, Ask Questions.
Wow.
And ICE stands for Intelligent, Creative, and Extraordinary, which is all the things that the Creator has given me. So this new book right here, I wanted to teach biblical stories through spoken word poetry. And not only did I want to teach biblical stories through spoken word poetry, but if you look at the illustrations, they look just like our people. So our Adam and Eve look just like you and I do. Our Cain and Abel look just like you and I do. Our Noah looks just like you and I do.
I remember when I was a child, and there was a book called The Book of Bible Stories.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witnesses, and there were nobody in those books that looked like me.
That's right. And my mom is a Jehovah's Witness, and so I grew up reading that book, and You Can Live Forever in Paradise on Earth and all those books. So I said, let me take what's in my spirit and bring it out and add my remix and spin on it and deliver it back to the public the right way.
Nice. Well, my brother, I want to thank you so much for being here this afternoon. But before you go, you've got to bless my audience with something. Whatever it is, just leave them with a message.
There's this elevator, right? It's full of people. Some family, some friends, some strangers, but you're all in a basement. The basement represents that brand new idea that was blessed to be manifested in your mind. But by the time you share your idea with the 10 people standing in the elevator next to you, some of them get off before the door even closes. Sort of like those so-called friends. The ones who you thought would be there through thick and thin down to the end didn't even make it to the first floor. The door closes. The elevator rises. Much to your surprise, you're making progress. The bell rings, you're at the first floor. The door opens, and guess what happens next? Those childhood friends, well, they got goals of their own. Time for you to be strong, because you're going to lose some of these friends during this ride and feel alone. But as they walk out, a few more friends walk in. You started off with 10, but now you're down to 8. Now one of the new friends who just walked in pressed floor 2. So you know what that means. The next time the elevator door opens, they'll be going too. But before they left, they introduced you to one of their friends who became your friend. Then y'all became close like kin. The door opens at floor 2. You lose a few, but one man walks in, and he becomes your boyfriend. And now we're down to 7. Now only 4 out of the 7 are the original occupants that you begin with. In all, there are 2 strangers, one cousin, your mom, one friend, one new friend, and a boyfriend. Now the elevator passes floor 3. Seems like life is finally looking up. But just as soon as you get comfortable, you're at the 4th floor and the door opens up. You're staring death right in the face. Quickly you step back. He reaches in his arm and unexpectedly takes your mom. Everyone in the elevator consoles you. But this takes an emotional toll on you and your relationship. Everything you ever believed in or ever knew about is in doubt. You become so emotionally cold that right before the doors close, your boyfriend walks out. What's to expect by floor 5? Now what just happened on the 4th floor was a game changer. But before floor 5 arrives, you will lose one of those strangers. But before he leaves, DJ Killa Boo, he whispers to you, there's something that I hope that you see. He said, what's that? That God wants you to go through everything that you're going through in order for you to get to where it is he wants you to be. He leaves, 4 remains, only 1 more floor to go. But between the 5th and the 6th floor, you notice something. The other stranger reaches around you and hits the stop button. Everything is frozen, Richie, except you and him. He said, okay, I think it's time for us to talk. Now, I've been here since the beginning, and I've seen everything that happened, and not once did you ever acknowledge me. I even gave you words of encouragement when you lost your mommy. I thought at that point you would want to get to know me, look around. Out of the 10 that you started out with, there's only a few. Now you have a choice or 2. You can continue on. Use the experience of what you've been through to help heal, or you can do what you've been thinking, go in that purse and take those pills. She said, no, I want to live. Well, then you need to learn how to forgive. She now knew who she was talking to. She takes a deep breath and asks for forgiveness, but he said, I'll forgive you when you learn how to forgive yourself. He pressed the button. The bell rings. The door opens at the 6th floor. To your surprise, your ex-boyfriend is standing there, offer you his hand. You turn right around, look at that man right in the face, and smile. Irie Jam, out of the many people that have come into your life, you've already lost the majority. Expect for the ones closest to you to disappoint you, let you down, betray you, but don't you change, stay you. And at the end of the day, when you place your family and friends before God, he will remove them to show you that he's a jealous God, and none should be placed before him. Trust him to know that he will replace everything stolen, restore everything lost, and heal everything broken. In life, you're going to have some knockdowns on the way up, but it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Blaq Ice is the king of poetry. He's live inside the studios of Irie Jam Radio. My brother Richie Innocent also inside the studio. I want to thank you both for passing through today. I want to thank you both for all that you are doing, everything that you are doing when it comes to, poetry and helping a lot of people, motivation and inspiration. That's what it's all about, man. Thank you so much, my brother.
I just want to say shout out to Miss Pat from VP Records, man.
Pat
Yes.
For giving us she's given us the opportunity, so that we can put across and expose poetry and the power of poetry to the community. She's a paradigm visionary, and we just like to say publicly, Miss Patchin of VP Record, thank you so much for giving us that home for poetry, echoes of expression, Richie Innocent and friend. This is the 2nd stage, and we look forward for many, many stages. And we look forward to seeing the people of New York, this space, being a part of poetry, of echoes of expression next year.
DJ Killa Boo, thank you so much. Irie Jam and all the listeners all over the world. Peace and blessings, y'all. Blaq Ice, Shot Time.
Bless up Antonio Valier.
There you have it, man. Thank you so much, my brothers. Big up yourselves, and of course, we look forward to seeing you again whenever you're in town. Blaq Ice, Richie Innocent, you guys are always welcome right here at Irie Jam Radio.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The poets, people of extraordinary talent. They are here, Richie Innocent and Blaq Ice, respectively. Big up on yourself, and of course continue to do what it is that you're doing.
See, if black people love freedom like they love chicken, we will stop Europeanizing ourselves, bleaching our skin. Imagine if black women went on a weave strike. No sew-ins, no hair glue, no chemical relax.